Been a long time should have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, freaky. Okay, enough with the Aaliyah or Queen of the Dam references. And yes, I know that song was indeed used in Romeo Must Die and not Queen. Can pretty much shut up now. Somewhat recently, Sir Paul Medina Jr. issued a fun little open challenge for artists everywhere. Not that we're any good, but quite like Finley, we love to fight. You know, Fit Finley or Hornswoggle's dad, if you want to be kayfabe about it. Hornswoggle was also the anonymous Raw general manager. That was two storylines pretty much wasted on Hornswoggle. Imagine that. Okay, during the glorious time that was the late 90s, comics was being sold less at the sidewalks and more into the bookstores. And the two books that were readily available at the time were Pupong and Pugat Baboy. I was a fan of both titles, hence crossover strips like these were a sight to behold to a young and quite impressionable Dark Chapel. But the character I liked the most was Roberto Lamon, or more commonly referred to as Bob. He was the resident hippie of the community. He was also Bobman in a few of the Polgas Bark Justice stories. Sir Paul's influences could still be felt in works like Ramark Masangkay's Office Mate, Gio's Desk Lakan at Makisig, and yours truly's comic strip during college. Shout out to our buddy, Toy Tripper, for helping us get this job back then. The said job also led me to draw for the editorial section at the time. The pay rate was pretty good, and I do get to practice my caricaturing and portraiture skills. We move on from local to international, and back to local again. But sort of my forte are local celebrities, especially comedians. I always felt like the comedians in our country had a lot more to prove. Having a funny face helps, but one must also possess the acting chops to both book gigs and maybe stay relevant within a very demanding industry. I also drew a whole lot of wrestlers. This is something I enjoyed doing, time after time. And now we're here, I guess. And here we go. Right from the get-go, you'd notice me being bothered by those uneven ears. But don't worry, that's the least of my worries as of the moment. Also, before he looked like Stone Cold, The Rock used to have a head full of hair. Ooh, look at those horrible looking clavicles. Let's try to do something else. Yes, let's draw in those iconic eyebrows instead. I know what it looks like. It was also pretty darn funny when I did that. The Rock was also known for catchphrases, smelling what The Rock is cooking, lay it, smack it down, it doesn't matter, the whole 9 yards. He was also the Scorpion King. It was sort of a big deal back then. Just ask Booker T and Goldust all about it. I guess Hollywood would also be the same way how other people would know about Batista and quite possibly John Cena. But don't forget it was Terry Funk in Roadhouse that paved the way for all you jabronis. And now time for some of those sweet ass Roman Reigns tattoos. Oh jeez, look at the time. Why is this so darn hard? This is how it would have looked like if I had more time. No worries, I'll do better on the next piece. Okay, so far so good. I messed up those sleeves pretty badly. But anyways, we're doing meme Oprah here. Oprah was a 90s talk show host that gave away free stuff, a gimmick that her successor, Ellen DeGeneres, would later on use to her own talk show advantage. I was feeling pretty good with those eyes. And speaking of noses, there was also a Rocko's Modern Life character named Nosy, who is basically a parody of Oprah. Both Stedman and Gayle King would be the subject of ridicule in numerous Mad TV sketches, but I guess Oprah was unaffected by all of this when she could pretty much laugh her way to the bank with all the money she's making. And that is that. No, this is how it would have looked like again if I had more time with it. Okay, I'm feeling very optimistic about this one. It's a person that I like. I can do this. VMAs 2009, Lady Gaga was performing Paparazzi at the time. My dad asked if the person performing was Britney Spears, and I said no, it was Lady Gaga. We watched the entire thing. Lady Gaga was bleeding by the end of her performance. My dad said something to the effect of Gagang Lady or something. And that was it. We had a father and son bonding experience through Lady Gaga. I don't know Mother Monster that well, but if I do get to see her, I'd hug and thank her for that valuable core memory. I was a big Gaga fan at the time. There was no other pop star that looked like Gaga. She churned out hits after hits. That hand sign was from Telephone. Those mirrored shoulder pads were from Bad Romance. The meat was from the meat dress from VMA's 2010. I know it's supposed to be meat, but in my brain, I keep on thinking bacon, bacon, bacon. Needless to say, I failed yet again. At this point, what am I doing? The only consolation at this point is that the next one would be the last one. Okay, let's do this. Curly hair, so far so good. In my mind's eye, I was visualizing Thriller MJ, but somehow it did not materialize on paper. It looked less like a zombie and more like Jackson 5 MJ. I was also feeling pretty confident with this one, since we did made a tribute book back in 2009. This should be a walk in the park, right? Boy, I was dead wrong. MJ without reference is pretty hard, man. At this point, I just can't wait to finish this thing. And that was it. Those were my 4 caricatures. I didn't finish any of them within the allotted 3 minutes. I'm bad at this, but at least I tried my best. Well, there you go. Also, congratulations, Taker, for your much deserved Hall of Fame induction. And that's it. That's a wrap. Bye!